Two, hey! Chiranuke. My X. Hey. So. T. Go. Hey. Go. Six. Hats. Keep. Two. Hey. Jodanuke. My X. Hey. So. Shit. Go. Hey. Go. Six. Hats. Keep. Two. Hey. Yeah. Trap. Over the top. Down. Down. Come on. Hits. Hey. So. She. Go. Hey. Her. Six. Hats. Two. Two. Hey. To the side.
Don't forget to consider keeping that hand active for whichever you're locking in on. That way when you're locking in on somebody, you're doing it. So get that hand grabbing something. Oh.
Nice and say. Man. Hits. Hey. So. She. Go. Hey. Her. Six. Hats. Two. Two. Hey. Good. High block. Pull down. I think. Hang on. Yep. High block, pull down. My hits. Hey. So. She. Go. Hey. Her. Six. Hats. Two. Two. Hey. Hey. All right. Trap. My giddy. Okay. Come on. Hits. Nate. So. She. Go. Hey. Her. Six. Hats. Two. Two. Hey. All right. Heavy hand or shoot though. Whatever floats your boat. Or palm heels. Good, I guess. My and my Getty. My it's neat. So she go. Hey. Up. Six. Hats. Cute. Two. Hey. Good. Same thing, but hook kick. Same hand motion. Right. Hits. Neat. So she go. Hey. Up. Six. Hats. Cute. Two. Hey. Good. Double upward catch. Might getting underneath. Right. Hits. Nate. So. She. Go. Hey. Up. Six. Hutch. Two. Two. Hey. Down on 5 and 10. Do a little shuto along with the kick. Or nukite, sorry, not shuto. Right. Hitch. Knee. Sunk. Chi. Go. Hey. Up. Six. Hutch. Two. Two. Hey. Nice. All right. 45 block, 45 kick. Which, oh yeah, I like skipped a whole bunch of stuff. All right.
I knew it. I could see once you started doing, I was like, he's gonna remember in a second.
Yep. All right, let's go back and pick up the ones I missed. 45
Hey,
and 45.
you're in charge. You do what you want.
Am I? Hits. Hit. Sunk. Shake. Go. Hey. Hurt. Six. Hutch. Two. Two. Hey. All right. King and Showdown. Double down. My Getty.
Hey.
Matt. Hits. Nate. Hump. Shake. Go. Hey. Hurt. Six. Hutch. Two. Two. Hey. Good. Shoot out okay. Get on okay at the same time. I get it underneath. My hits. Nate. Hump. Shake. Go. Hey. Hurt. Six. Hutch. Two. Two. Hey. Hey. You want to do the extended black belts, or do you want to just stop the traditionals?
Let's just stop right here.
Hey. In that case, Kyotsuke. Sensei, gatte Tomarigatou gozaimasu.
Hey, don't do it. Good job. All right. Get yourself eat an iku and then meet me back here.
I knew when I started with the ask how many times you have been attacked by Ninja Sensei.
I never really saw him, so I mean,
Okay. Hey.
I was attacked by a bird feeder just a little bit. I was walking the dog, and they were doing their dirty business. And our neighbors next door, they put out a bowl of water for dogs, and it even has a sign that says "For our furry friends." But I guess now for the squirrels and other animals, they put out a bird feeder with like nuts, and then like a bird feeder. And I don't usually walk that way, but the dog kind of went that anyway. So and I came up and it reared into my peripheral vision, and so I and I almost ran my head right into it. Like, whoa, it's the bird feeder. Got attacked by a bird feeder.
Bird seed went flying.
It's mass hysteria. It's carnage. It's carnage. Okay, anyway, so I think we've kind of gone through these before. The Motobu drills. Can't
That
remember.
one's familiar, but I don't remember them.
You'll probably remember them when we start doing them. I went back through my notes and I even made a PowerPoint. So these are the Motobu drills as I understand them. through the lens of my close personal friend, Ian Abernathy. So for those of you, if me and I still listening, remember who Motobu Choki is. He was apparently pretty much sort of a badass. Very sort of practically minded and liked to fight. And me and I remembers. And anyway, so he had these 12 drills that he did. The seminar that I went to, Ian took them. He didn't really modify them too much. He did change a couple of things because uh, he was, basically sort of translating from static pictures and what was kind of written in them into something that made a little bit of sense. Anyway, so we kind of went through those. The thing that he did note, and one of the things that it's Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. Every week at this time it's Thursday. The A lot of stuff he didn't start from the traditional karate like this, or whatever. A lot of it was like he was at a ready stance, or he was touching arms. Like they had their right arm out, he had his right arm out, and they started from here. So some of them you actually start from like basically doing like a lap sao or whatever, or a roll of stuff that's going on, which I thought was cool because there were some some ancient scrolls that said that was back in the day. That's kind of how they started kumite, where they would like get up next to each other and be touching and go from there, which I thought was kind of cool. Anyway, so some of these are from there. So there are 12 of them. I'm not going to rush through them because I really think there's a lot of stuff that can be added. Now, of course, when I'm in person with somebody, Adam has his training partner there that he'll get to play with. Judansh and I are going to be fighting our respective ninja. Anyway, so on the show, basically I'll just read whatever the strike and stuff is, and then we'll go through the shenanigans. And I'm going to put this kind of here so I can see it. Can't put it on mine. I guess I could put it. Anyway, all right. So this one starts out as a left hook or a jab. It's also the funny thing, because Ian Abernathy, one of the things that he always points out is there are no left-handed samurai. But more than a few of these techniques come out with the left strike first. Now, that could be because that's what they had to do for the photography. I don't know. But yeah, he encourages, like, it's a drill, so you do it on both sides. But in the context of the photos, that's where he's going from. So anyway, so this is, and he did it a lot from a hook, as opposed to, just a Jodanzuki or whatever. But it's left hook, a left jab. This one's kind of fun though. This one starts out, you're here at White Rock Kenshin Khan, we start out from a natural stance. He was starting out from right front stance. And basically someone comes and throws that left hook, and you are crashing in and jamming that right hand. So they're coming in, you're going to jam their right hand and block that hand with basically a vertical elbow into their shoulder. So you're going to come in and bam, hit, protecting your head from their punch, keeping the pressure on that hand. Then you're just going to kind of slide back just a little bit. You're going to shuffle in kind of behind their leg a little bit and drop that elbow into their rib. Boom! So you'll be this handle, pop that, and you're just gonna hit, boom, and hit that heel end. So what I like about that is you stay squared in, and then you're basically just kind of dropping back behind. Now, from our system, and he just boom, and then with, of course, seeing Abernathy, so that was it. You're done. You're back up out of there. You back a couple ribs, hit him in the face or whatever to push him off, and then you get out of there. So that was the drill. So when we get together with whomever we're doing it, it's me, and we'll practice this a couple times on both sides. So for me, it's you just kind of come in, smack, boom, push, and get back. And on this side would be smash, boom, hit, and come back. All right. So let's try that. Five on
So
one side, five on the. Start.
is the elbow, is your forearm like vertical and you're like
Mhm.
stopping it here, or are you driving it forward like Nijushiho or
Yeah. So here, this is where I wanted to be able to kind of mill it around a little bit. The
okay.
way he did it, and the way he was saying that Motobu did it was basically you're just kind of coming in
Yeah.
flat like this, like you're just hitting them. Boom. So basically, you're just slamming them right here in the chest,
Right.
right, or the shoulder actually,
Right.
because you're also using it to kind of protect your head a little bit because they're coming in with a hook, and so
Right.
you're kind of protecting it. But as we all know, we really like taking that elbow and making it into a prow, right, and just plowing into
Right.
something. And it also helps you protect your head because here you're not really protecting anything if they're hooking you, right?
Right.
There's
Right.
a lot of room right there from the hip. So that's one thing. The other thing is pretty good chance that you would be defending yourself probably from someone slightly larger than you. So coming
Right.
up with that elbow is also not a bad thing.
Right.
The upside, the other side is like maybe if you miss hit the shoulder or the shoulder rolls or whatever, if you're down here, you've got a chance to maybe hook it back up underneath or whatever. So there's
Versus
that
like
whole what if world. But so uh, I kind of modified a little bit where I'm coming in, so I'm not really aiming necessarily for the pit. I'm trying to put my elbow maybe in that uh, pet right there, just boom. But you really want to, part of the thing is you're inside that swing. So, if you hit here, this can still keep going. If you hit here, maybe you'll be in deep enough where it won't hit. I don't know.
right.
That whole body shot, I think most of the one thing he really stressed was just like that. You're jamming this hand, so he can't fire that right. And then you're hitting just long enough to stop them and then prosecute some reds. But anyway, but that's kind of what I was getting at was like, that's what I want us to do this a couple, 3, 4 times and feel how your thing worked at me. Now you can play it along at home if you want and try and think about how your system would do that as you understand it or whatnot. Anyway, so 5 on one side, 5 on another. I'll count it. You fight your ninja. You can alternate. You can do it on the same side. I will probably alternate.
Excellent, sir.
All right, come on. And again, and so he started his Kamai. He started it from like just basically a front stance with his hands out, kind of like an eek stance for us. I like to start from ground zero, as you all know. All right, here we go. Itch. Knee. Good. Salt. Sheep. Go. Don't forget to breathe. Rub. Sitch. That's. Good. You. Awesome. So for me, that whole plunging in, going in, because you don't have the target. So I feel like I'm going in a little too deep. So one of the things that he did was he turned it into like a shikadach or whatever. He came in and made it very much a you hit and you're dropping into a shikadachi and then hitting him and then coming out. Because of the, my ninja is barely there. My foot tended to go out a little too far. So slowing down might make that a little bit more. And then of course I put a little target, exactly. So that's where I was going with that, was either stay square and do one of two things. Come in and stance cam 5000. Is come in to it, boom, hit, get that knee back behind it. And as I come in, drive that knee in there, bam, into the side, into the quad, or that knee, or just get that foot right up against their left leg and put some strain on it. Boom, as you hit, so that'll keep that pressured so they can't bring it up out of the way. The person that he was using as the Zuke, he would come in and he would do a shikadachi, and there was clearly space between their legs. And as we all know, nature reports a vacuum. Adam, what'd you feel? Or did you feel anything?
It almost seems like if you're maybe the same height or taller, instead of dropping down and elbowing the ribs, you can drop down, really crank that arm.
Yeah, just let it know. Yeah, that's one of the sort of, when I watched all 12 of them together, it became very evident that, and he even mentioned it at one point about a kata, the kata that he made at the end of it when he was showing it. He was talking about how he said that, I can't remember which kata he was talking about. I want to say Gion, as he said that the Shotokan version was like this, right? And the some other version, I guess the Shitoru or some of us, was like this, and probably us, And he was saying, he said because Funakoshi was pretty small, and so bigger opponents, and whatever style was he was talking about, it was a little bit taller, so it would have been like normal size. So he was saying that in his dojo, somebody who practices it and is shorter just naturally does it higher, and he's got somebody who's like 6'6", and so when he does it, he just does it like that. So he's not like it should be, again, just like your system, it should be kind of fit to your body. But then that opens up, it's like, okay, well, cool, I'm here. Where am I relative to that person? Now, if my hand is still here and their head is right here, wants to stop you from giving, shooting in, give them a shot, and then coming down, or slipping around and grabbing that arm. Now my focus, actually, Ian's focus on a lot of his techniques, or a lot of his drills, and also I'm in the same kind of camp, is that I'm not engaging in a big fight. So, he's like boom, 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 and get out. And I'm a big fan of that. Like, so yeah, like coming in is like, so that's why I like to stay at neutral, because they're coming in. I'm like, whoa, boom, I'm closing that distance down. I'm shutting that weapon down. I'm giving them a shot. Well, now I got to do business, So if we're going to drop down and do it, maybe because of the way we do our footwork, ideally my foot should be right next to his anyway. All right, so thanks, Kim. Here's the bad guy's foot. Imagine his like he's kind of here, and then he comes around behind it, and there was a gap. Whereas with us, as I try to do, is I try and get right next to that foot. So there I've got a point right there, or I'm really close behind. So that way when I do that drop in, I'm putting pressure on that knee when I hit it. That's right, my tactical Crocs came in handy once again. So what about you, Drew?
What about me?
Well, did you feel anything?
Well, I was just I was just trying the differences between if I go here, the difference between if I step in a little bit that's gonna, my goal with my center of gravity would be to hit and kind of move them off that direction.
Mhm.
I was thinking about this versus just that, a shot back that way. So come in here and then here,
Okay,
right?
tracked in, okay, all right.
And then what you were doing as far as uh I saw you were like hands to the face or things. I was thinking, well, if I've stepped in correctly and I'm right behind, maybe I
Yep,
can do boom to break the stance and push them off a little further,
yeah,
right?
oh yeah,
Like, boom,
I mean,
and then
technically,
step back.
yeah,
That might
technically
be too many
you're,
moving parts, but
oh, certainly, yeah, I mean, it's like, where do you stop it? But, you are, in a essentially Nahanchi land right there, right? So,
yep, yep,
having that right there that was one of the things that I noticed that every time he had one of those where it kind of, there's a couple of them in there where you come in and you do a rib shot or something. Um, and it's like, well, there's that space between their leg and your leg. It's like, fill that space. So you can just so, but again, so that's kind of one of the things that they talk about that Motobu was a scrapper, right? He liked to hit and strike, and I guess he knew, shooting, grappling, that kind of that, but he liked to punch things. So, and Ian's big thing is it's karate. You're either hitting somebody, you already hit somebody, or you're getting ready to hit somebody. So,
the other
uh,
alternative is if if you have your foot like where you were talking about, like right behind and you're right up next to, you don't even have to really sweep, just driving your knee into their knee or into their hamstring at the same time as pushing them back will disrupt their stance and keep them from coming after you as you move out.
oh yeah,
So,
I mean when you close in and do that smash,
yep.
your knee could be, but more often than not, when I do that sort of thing with somebody in the dojo, I end up running my knee maybe into their knee, and it's just sort of a like who hurts more. It's like, do I play through it or do I go like ah? But since I already smashed it and I paid for it, I might as well do it. So then just give a little oomph on there and do that going on. But anyways, that's kind of one of the things of like, yeah, it's smash, and then like, where do you want to go? So like, if we were all in the same room, one of the things that we would do is we would basically take that first move and see where it all went. Like, we wouldn't even get to the other 12, right? We just like, boom, okay, you can wrap them up. Boom, you can do whatever. So what I was doing with that, Drew, was uh, coming in, doing that, and then since I'm there, and the other thing with that is like he really sort of dropped into it, boom, and thought about it as a strike. Is and because I felt myself going deeper than I really wanted to. When I was here, and also a lot of times when I would do that, I would feel that hand move, and really, one of the things he talked about was like, you didn't care if like maybe they did that and this, and then you jammed it, or that, and it was you were fighting a karate guy, so he came in and he went ha. He was like, jam it right there at the waist. He was like, it doesn't matter where it is. That's your target is you're jamming it before it
Well,
fires off, ideally.
well, I would
Um,
think that most people that don't know what they're doing are going to be like this anyway. So you're just pressing that up
yeah,
against their chest, and because they're going to be like this because that's what they've seen on TV, or that's how
yeah.
they
Or they're
fight, right?
reaching at you.
Yeah.
And
So
you take that one down, get inside that one, and smack. So that's amazing. It could come from a couple different places, which is why one of the reasons why I like to come from neutral. But oh, it come in here. Push up because when I was pushing off, I was pushing it. You saw it. I was pushing up, thinking about getting underneath their hand just to get their head back,
right.
and then pushing it and then getting out of there because I was in kind of deep. I felt like I was in kind of deep, but I'm getting out. But what I was getting at was this hand. I want to make sure I'm keeping that pressure. If I can't keep that pressure smushed in, I want to grab it so that way, at least if it comes off, I've still got a level of control. So again, this is the Hikate for Yumiya especially. the heat is if your hand's closed, it's closed on it's gripping something or you're hitting something with it, right? So in this case, if I smash it, I'm gonna grab it. Just like I'm talking about the black belt basics, like when you're doing whatever it is, when you're grabbing something, so grab it, right? So there was another one of. So anyway, I found myself, my hand was kind of drifting a little bit because I didn't do anything to go against. Anyway, so that's number one. Number two, the vicious attacker comes in and throws one hook and then two hooks, right and a left. And Motobu Sensei, let's see, what do you do there? Okay, this is the knee strike. So on this one, he gets kind of cranky. So on this one, the villain or comes in with a right and a left. The right, he's going to come in and catch it. He was just basically just doing kind of a kakyuke, kind of, but he didn't really call it a kakyuke. He kind of called it a parry or a catch. I read it as a sort of a kakyuke or a shuto, bam, and then you grab. Then they throw that other one, and you basically do the next thing, same thing, catch. So it would be, but you're putting your weight on that first strike. So you're gonna boom, catch. So when they throw that right, you're gonna catch it and kind of weight that leg, pull down on it, right? That was coming in. Right. And you're gonna do a, again, let me do the stance can 5,000 real quick so you can see the feet. Is you're gonna catch, sorry, left foot, catch, shuffle up, and knee into it says the groin or the body. If you've got them pulled down a little bit, then maybe pull down like that, so you might not get the groin, but you get the bicep. So 1, 2, and then get out. That's good. And on this side it'd be 1, 2, come up. Boom. He talked about the different. Yeah, he talked about the different. Like coming with your rear leg. But just like in our system, one of the things Motobu talked about was hitting the thing with the closest thing. Okay, that's not gonna work. Okay. Sorry. So right, left, you're gonna come in, left, right, steps up. Yeah, and basically you're just coming into our black belt stance, right? So
Right.
all right,
Hi, Sensei.
let's try this out. 5 on one side, 5 on the other. Alternate it well. Again, he starts on left. You're blocking left, but you can start out right if you like. Got it. Knee. So.
Yeah.
She. Go. Rook. Sich. That's all right. Hatch. Two. Oops, with that. Two. Now, in the ancient scrolls, he was using it just like I do, like a parry first, then a block. which I was like, even though he called this the parry, maybe he considered that as a check, parry, parry. And the first time I did it, I didn't do it with a parry. And after that, active hands, right? 1, 2, lock, lock, and then. But for me, it's like what if that hand moves, then that's what I want to kick with. So I have to remember to come back to this one. This one feels for me a little more like if you were already sort of in there, like maybe somebody grabbed you and did whatever, and so you just hooked one, hooked the other, and then not from a punch. From a punch, it seems like you're farther away. I don't know. What do you think, Adam?
Yeah, I think it's from further away. Not don't think you need to already be in it. I think it could be against an opening because you're just going straight in first.
Yeah.
You're closing that distance to interrupt them, so it doesn't matter how far away they are. I mean, especially if they're coming, throwing each other a big haymaker because they're starting with the right, so you go left. And that has not necessarily enough time for you to recognize it, formulate a response, and then actually move, but perhaps better. It's still feasible to get in there against the first attack.
Yeah. Judachi?
I would have said the same thing as far as like, for that first one, getting in, right? If they are far away, like I was wondering, if you could just take another, on the next one, take another step to close the distance.
Right.
If you need to, but I agree with, I was thinking the same thing that Adam thought, like you're gonna get somebody that's gonna do that you're gonna get a little bit of a telegraph, and even just moving in just a little bit will put you, whether you do it here, block, check it, whatever, should put you outside of the range of that to where you have control, right? And if you're at forearm level, well, you know where that next one's going to come in, and it's going to come in roughly that same deal. So wherever you end up with that shot, it seems like that will tell you the next one of, now you got control of that hand. So now it tells you the next one, like, am I, are they going to just punch with that? And now I have that control, and I need to do the shuffle forward to get up into the body, or, did they keep coming so where I can just, I can come from the back. But yeah, from what Adam said, I would agree with that. You can shuffle in, you can either just step out if they're close, or you can step out and shuffle right at the same deal and close the distance a little more if you need to.
Yeah, one of the things that I was kind of getting out of that was, yeah, even if they're, from a distance away, yeah, in the cul-de-sac, the few times that I've had to, throw down, I do notice that there's, depending on the inebriation level or anger or whatever, is like people who are not trained, maybe some people are trained. Well, you mean, yeah, they're clearly not gonna, come do this, but they would tend to like either they're basically doing a yakuza, but I mean like a big game, but they're yeah, and because they don't want to get hit themselves, right? So so unlike us wackos who don't mind taking a shot or boxers or whatever, they're gonna come and it's not gonna be that big swing. So if you stay out here and block again, it's and he even brought it up and at some point in one of his videos, it's same thing I talk about. It's like if they're outside here, I don't have to do anything. It's until they come inside here, and then but still that invisible wall, right? Like the farther out you are here, the less effective you are, or the more strength you have to apply, right? And then diminishing returns as you get closer. So if they come in and step and come in, and then I close some of that distance, they should be close enough where I really shouldn't have to slip that leg up. is that's one of the things he was talking about was it's like it's not kicking with that one because that's farther away, but this is too far away because you gotta adjust that weight, right? If you have them here, you may not be able to get them. But you gotta bring that leg up to get your core so you can knee them, which to me means they're at least knee far away, right? So so now we're talking about the relatives is like the one thing you can count on is that you're the target. So if they're swinging like this, then you're absolutely going to have to bring that leg up and come in. But I think more than like if they swing one, swing two, this is the one you're really got to worry about because they missed and they're coming in. So if you don't catch that one, this guy really needs to come up. But either way, you can still employ that knee. So when I was doing it after a couple of times, I was picking a center line in this case. And so when I did that left block, I came in and off the center line, but their center would have been here. So that way, when I come up, I'm actually kind of kneeing on this side, so to speak, or whatever, because that way I'm getting away from that arm a little bit. This hand will still be doing something and be ready to go. But basically, this is coming in. That knee's coming no matter what. Is what's going on. So I was really trying to think, and again, so this is one of the things that he was talking about was making it fit your system, whatever the things are. As with us is most of the his system included. Another one are straight on, straight on, straight on. We're off to the center, off to the center. So coming in this way, you're a little farther away from that one. If you're off this side, you got this arm locked up. That's going to be the next thing you're going to attack with, is that left arm.
Right.
So anyway,
But it's also the stuff that you've always talked about with sparring. It's like, if they're not close enough to hit you, then you don't have to move. And if you're coming in with a hook, you're automatically shortening that punch, right? You're gonna have to come in closer because you're trying to get around something, around a block to get to the person's head, usually, right? So they're gonna have to come in close enough to connect. If they don't, then all you have to do is and then miss, right? So that's one. And then the other thing is, every new student that ever comes in, right? Untrained people think that, will always over rotate, right? Because they think that the power is is putting, that full rotation. They haven't been trained that it's the muscular coordination. So you're going to get some telegraphing, but they're also not, again, they're not going to want to be at the very edge, right? They have to turn their fist so they can hit you, which means they're going to have to be closer and you get a bigger arc to get to it. So all you should, just stepping in closes that distance and puts you in the right spot, if they have any hope of connecting in the first place, I think. So,
right. And that's an important factor of the whole fighting against somebody who doesn't know what they're talking about. If they haven't seen Karate Kid, they don't know that they're supposed to punch with those two knuckles, right? So a lot of they're swinging, and it's going to be just this is the striking surface, whatever it is that hits you. So one of the things you can hope for is the fact that they're not going to hit you with anything solid. They're just going to hit you with meat that's moving, and instead of some penetrative sort of bone on bone action. Now, don't want to get hit anyway, but I mean, you got that going for you. But I mean, yeah, it's that whole it's they're gonna this way or this way or whatever. If you get somebody who's trained, they're gonna tighten it up a little bit more and know what to hit with. But yeah, so that was kind of, I thought you might enjoy that one just because he even kind of said he said it's kind of like white crane spreads wings, which is Tai Chi, but whatever, what's going on.
Interestingly enough, just as a quick variation in Hakutu Sho, right? When we do this, it's a pull down and it's a forward kick, and then in a 45, right? So you can variate it. So you could bring it up in the knee, but you could also depending on where they land, right? Once you have 1, 2, you know, you could kick, or kick. You know, there's a whole bunch of possibilities because now you got both their arms. So you know where
Okay.
the arms are. So
And Mihai, don't forget, if you want to chime in with any questions or anything, you can either chime in or throw it in the chat. It's cool. Yeah, so on that particular technique, since we're kind of in that neck of the woods anyway, where is your opponent? Are they in front of you? To the side of you? Are they far away? Are they in close? Has that been discussed?
ideally, well, initially from this technique, they're ostensibly in front of you, right? And they've maybe gone for a reach. So the full technique is from here, you come up and then down, and as you pull down, boom, step through, and then it's a shot up, and then you do it again with the other side. And this one is a shot, and then there's another shuffle for a step, boom, right? So the idea is they're in front, but it certainly makes sense in an application of this nature to go off to the side, like you were talking about, jam it even further by going off the center line, right? That means they're going to have to turn to face, you know, you're going to have to take some of their power, expend some of their energy to turn to connect with your face now that you're off that center line, right? And that's when you can do the whole deal. And so, you know, that's what opens up that shot, that shot, that shot, that shot, you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that could have been, that's what I was going through that whole technique.
yeah,
Go back over to it.
cool.
You tell I'm an IT geek because I made a deck out of these. So because I need to be able to read them when is that whole, like, according to us, instead of coming straight on, having to come up and kick, I'm thinking about they're punching and I'm parrying and getting off to their side a little bit. And with that closing in to shut that down. So this hand, instead of being something that intercepts a right hook, becomes a shot to the face or puts pressure on their head or whatever, kind of open them up to kind of lock that out a little bit. And then when it's locked out, then I can throw a knee in there. But I can employ any knee because they're close enough in that I can hit that knee. So like you know, you're talking about like kick 1, kick 2. The same thing is like boom, hit one and then pop another leg in there. And it's body positioning in these other as they go through these things. There's a lot of them where it's body positioning. He was taking it from like, you know, like, okay, you're here and you do the you know, you do the elbow. One of the things that he talked about in this set as a whole is it was your body positioning, what opened up because of what you did. That's where that's where the, you know, strike goes or whatever. That's where your target is. I mean, we talk about, you know, when you do something, go find where the targets are sometimes. So that way, when you make a move, you see, you know, okay, if I do this and I change body and their punch goes across, so I'm beside them. What are my targets? You know, the head, the kidney, the, you know, the knee, the, you know, whatever, the throat. It's like he goes. So that's what he was kind of talking about. It was one of the things that this drill did in his mind was kind of let people show. It's like you're not doing your the technique. The target was presented by the technique, but now it's a drill. So everyone thinks that the 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 technique
Target
gets you to the
goal.
the target gets you, the technique gets you to the target. Whereas it's true, but it's not like you're not aiming for that. That's what happens because you do that, you know, kind of thing. So, anyway, all right, number 3. Hey, we're cooking, yeah? Well, we're cooking. Okay, and this one, the villain and or ruffian does a right shot to the head and then a left hook after you do some shenanigans. The shenanigans you're going to do is right step in is you're gonna this one's kind of fun though. You're gonna say mind your own business. They're gonna throw that right hook, and he didn't really say what it was. I call it an open age uke because they're coming and you're kind of stepping in left and blocking. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. So you're just coming in, catching right, then you're coming in, stepping, or sorry, coming in, catching right, stepping right, and doing a groin strike. Bam! And then you're gripping. Yep. So you grip it, the villain or ruffian goes, and they throw a left hook. So again, you grip, you block that right hook, and you come back down again, boom, for a rip shot. And then you're out. Yeah. So it goes 1, 2, grip, boom, 3, sorry, catch, grip, and you're out. So the kind of cool thing about some of these drills is Motobu has worked in a counter or a oops, something didn't work right. Now, Ian pointed out that a lot of people that have written these out have incorporated that as a strike, but I guess, and whatever it is he was reading from Motobu, the translations that he was getting, it's a strike and a grip. And I'm down with that. All right. So anyway, so step in. I don't know what this would be called, but I mean I just call it like an aguge. It's not really it's more like just a kind of a patch and a carry. So left hand, left foot, step in right, grab, catch it, boom, down into it. Still hanging onto that arm. And you can push it off.
Just wants to.
Ding, 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 ding. Get ready for some more hot Wansu action later in our broadcast.
He's just putting an elbow instead of the turnaround throw bit.
You mean Motobu Sensei stole from us? All right.
I mean,
Let's try that
maybe
out.
he gave to us. Huh?
Maybe,
Huh?
maybe.
He returned to us. He was a student of Matsumura.
Right.
Nice. Yeah.
So yeah, so
but
he stole from us. Everyone steals from us anyway. Anyway, you can write that down behind. Everyone steals from us. All right. Anyway, they took our clothes, the whole shit. All right. So here we go. Once again, you can. It starts off to the left, but you can start off to the right if you want. Come on. It's bam, grab, lock up, boom, elbow. Me. Catch up. Bam, grab. Now I like this one because it's telling me that it's letting me keep grabbing whatever I'm grabbing. Salt. Sheep. Go. That is. Rook. Siege. Hatch. Two. And you.
Did
I like
he
that one.
did he say why it's a two-step as opposed to just shooting in and going for the grab like right away? So instead of like right,
It
left versus they're coming in, I'm just gonna come left.
because that's the way it was taken pictures of. So
Okay.
yes, it's all one thing. So this is one of the things that he talked about. And were we in the same room with each other and a bunch of silly white belts that didn't know what they were doing walking into that day? Um, that would be, it'd be like, it's each knee, son, she, go. Right.
Hi.
So, but he said, then once you get it down, then it should actually be like coming in, you know. So yeah, you're catching it off,
Okay.
absolutely, you know. Uh, one of the things that when I was messing with it earlier today that I added, and when I was kind of noodling with the kata version of this is when I do that and I strike and I grab, I'm pulling with this hand and I'm pushing with that hand. So that way they're like, oh, they're kind of
Hi.
off balance a little bit. So that way this can either turn into a throw or, just boom. But that way I'm, instead of them staying right here and being sort of off balanced, they're kind of like that. And they're going to be trying to pull that away, right? So I think that's one of the things that he was talking about was you're doing that strike and you hit it, someone may go away. So instead of letting them go away, you strike and you grab. So even if you don't get them, you're going to get pants or shirt or pants or something. So they don't go anywhere. And you hang on to them and then drop into that elbow. What'd you think, Adam?
Yeah, I think this lends itself almost kind of return to how circular the pre-Toei martial arts were. So that's all
Mhm.
pretty circle, 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 circle.
Mhm.
Not so much one, two.
Yeah, he was trying to, and then he was like 1, 2. Uh, he was bringing that up to being like he would keep bringing it back to like, you see a lot of systems, that their copters are doing stuff like this. So, but it should be like one, you know, boom, it's like here's one circle, there's two circles. That constant motion of like going boom, boom, you know. Um, the fact they set it up that he thinks it's a counter. It's like you do one thing, you do that, and then they counter. So oop, you better do something. Is again preference on that you're standing right in front of somebody as opposed to, you know, like coming here is like instead of coming straight at them, you know, it's come in the middle, because now I'm on the inside of their arm, but I'm the outside of their leg. So since I'm on the inside of their arm and outside of their leg, I now have a leverage point. So when I do grab that and they pull back, you know. So like when you see kata that are doing that kind of stuff and that kind of stuff, but that's what that's gonna be kind of thing where like you're grabbing something and you are throwing them or you're getting ready to throw them or whatever. So you see a lot of that kind of stuff in all these drills, and that's kind of one of the things I liked about it, and probably one of the things that made him start thinking about it is you see all these kata with all these moves, and you're like, oh, well, there they are in this drill. So that's probably what they are, could be what they are in the kata. But this is a really nice one.
Yeah.
And if you like hot groin grabbing action, stick around. There's more to come, but probably
I
not
hear if
tonight.
you do that too often, you go blind.
Or they will. Blind with pain. All right. So number 3. Um. Okay. See, I wrote these in a way so as to try and. All right. So this is one of the ones that starts with uh, your forearms touching. You said you could also do it like if someone's doing it from a grab, or someone doing it from a back fist, or whatever. But right leg to right leg, right arm to right arm is going on. Oh, or actually, I guess they started this left one. No, right one. Yeah, right one. So this one is. Yeah, this is the super simple one. You're basically elbow to elbow, like doing a lop sal. So they're facing you, right foot out. All you're basically doing is just doing like a lop sal. You're kind of pushing against it, so there's some pressure. You're pushing it down, parrying it down, getting them to move their body. So they're doing like this. You're going to do like this number, so they turn. Then you just step them with your left leg, and do a shot to the ribs. One of the things that he stressed, and I just did, was he said, don't let your left foot or right foot, your striking hand, get past your parry hand. So, and the reason why I'm saying this is because you're pushing them off balance, and then if you step across their center line or their mass is this way, so all they have to do is basically just shift to the side, and you're going to fall because you're on the X and you're on the other side, so you're off balance. You may be pushing this way, right? So he was saying basically just bringing that foot up, but don't bring it so much into like a side wall. Basically, bring it into our stance is what he's talking about. It's just coming in, wow. But you're letting that hip come through. But the big flick is you put that pressure on them, so they put that pressure back, and then since their body weight's going this way, you're moving it out that way. So you're opening up that target without having to move a whole lot. You don't have to do like they were doing and go into Kibadachi, Shigadachi, any kind of dachi you want, and doing that strike. Because again, then you would be countered. You wouldn't be so you still want to be in basically a front stance. But the thing I like about it is it's pressure, so it's like someone's reaching for you, and you just move it out of the way, turn their body, and hit them.
Like Pinan Shodan.
Wait, what? Wait, what?
Yeah. Funny how that works, isn't it?
Funny how that works. All right, here we go. So yeah, so on this one, just like come in, elbow to elbow, move it aside, boom, hit. That's all you gotta do. All right, come on. It's neat. Nice, tight move. Salt. Sheet. Go. Root. Stitch. Touch. There we go. Two. And you. And to me, that's a very tight technique. And I had to, because fighting the ninja, I had to really sort of like pretend that there's a weight there, and then feel where would that point be where I would grab their hand, come in touch with their arm, and push it through, and then get that hip in there, and let that little wave action happen. And my left, doing it with my left, felt not as I couldn't quite get that action going on. It took me a minute to kind of slow it down. But there's that circle you're talking about again, Adam. Yeah, just like that. Nice. How you feeling about that, Drew?
Good. I like it. I was trying to think of like what the deal would be like. Uh, starting from just here, like, if it's a elbow on elbow, like sort of like a quarter block and then a pivot. Or if it's just kind of like, again, you're getting in people's face, or somebody gets in your face or whatever, and you're just, you're dinking around, like a lot of people, do the deal.
Yeah.
Just trying to figure out how the application would work from a starting point,
From
because
anything
that's
else,
not how
right?
it was originally designed. But
No, this
using
is yeah.
goes back to that first one, right? So maybe
Mhm.
maybe you do meet, or it's not a big strike, but it's just a hey, 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 like slow down, and then you're just kind of still sort of facing off, and then bam, I
Mhm.
said slow down,
Yeah.
you know.
So this particular one right here would be one that if we were all in the same room, we would absolutely go like, okay, now what about from a punch? Okay,
Yeah,
now what about from a grab?
yeah,
Okay, now what about from a grapple? That kind of thing like that. What from like Hubud, right? This would be like a really good like Hubud one because you come back around
yeah,
and then
yep.
come in.
Oh,
So because that's what he stressed was is like your forearms are touching, you give them some pressure, they pressure back when they pressure back because it's basically just like like sticky hands, right, or whatever, when
yep,
you're
yeah,
you're doing whatever and you give that little pressure and you let that pressure go and they go too far out. That's what you're doing. You're coming out and then because you're the karate and probably because he was dealing with people that do wider stances, he needs to bring that in.
right,
Whereas our stances are a little bit shorter. And so, with me, I was thinking about it, it's like it's a grappling, like someone's pushing against you or whatever, and they're pushing against you, and you just move that hand out, move it down, boom, and then pop it in, you
right,
know. Uh, and that would be sort of a maybe they took swing at you, and then they come back in, and you know, you're moving to that 90% of going to the ground, and
right,
then you unleash like Adam there and just it's or
yeah,
even if they grab you and you grab that arm and kind of move them a little bit,
right,
you've opened up it. Like their arms are still here, got a hold of you or grab your hair or whatever, and
yep,
it's like it doesn't matter what's going on. You now know where their arms are. You
right.
isolate them, and even if it's a floating rib or you do it as a hook to back there. Um, I think uh, that's all right. Four. We got through four. I didn't think we were gonna get through four.
I think
So
Adam's got the right of it, though. I think, or Circus Sensei, it's got to be fast. I think
yeah.
it's got to be one of those, kinds of things.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah, absolutely. You can't. I mean, and that's the thing. It's like this would probably be something we do with the sensitivity drill, getting used to doing it, and then coming and doing it because it's got to be now.
yeah,
Um, you know, and then but one of the things that I think that we should be able to leverage it on is that's something that works because they don't see it coming, right? Because you can it's much harder to defend something you can't see coming. So if they're concentrating on this bit and then suddenly next thing you know, they're here dealing with you, right? And then you move them. Because a tight sabak isn't just you, it's also them. So if you move them, then now you just open all that up. You've opened up all this actually.
Hi, Sensei.
So if you can get them to pressure you and commit and then move, they won't see that coming. All they see is this, and then you move them and then you're out of here. Anyway, cool. So that's 4. We'll try and get, so if we can get through 4, that's 3 nights of class, and then we're gonna bring it together and do the kata.
Hi, Sensei.
Cool. All right. Not as fun doing it by ourselves. I don't get that, but actually, he had us when we were at the seminar. He had us just doing it by ourselves for a little bit, and then we got together and did it with partners, and then we did the kata. So, so maybe we'll do that next time. Mihai, you still awake?
Hi, Sensei. Sorry, I had a lot of
All
phone
right.
I had to deal with in the middle of it.
I know. Yeah, I know. He's busy. He's making deals. He's closing businesses. He's doing it. All right, cool. Thanks a lot. Yeah, if you have any questions or comments or whatever, feel free to pass them on. Otherwise, cool. We'll just keep on working on these. I'll send you the deck and all that, and then like I say, we'll put it together and do the kata. So yeah, me and I like this is one of those kind of things where this isn't stuff in our federation. This is something else, but we're playing around with it to further increase our knowledge in our own system.
Cool.
Anyway.
Yeah, love it. Love it.
All right. Awesome. Cool deal. All right. Well, you're not sure. Take us home.
Good, good. Usciremo attimini Toby on us. Come in. Sensei got any idea? Obrigado gozaimasu. Sensei got any idea? Sayonara, Sensei.
Sayonara.
All right, guys.
Hey.
Dai senpai, kyotsuke.
Oh, hi. Hey.